My psycho mother tells police I kidnapped my brother, but he was at her house the entire time. Here's what happened. Subscribe to Am I the Jerk on YouTube and hit the bell for notifications. So this isn't a story about an entitled mother that I just happened to run into and had to deal with. This entitled mother is my mom. So this happened last year around May. I was at a town carnival with my children, 6 and 7 years old at the time. My brother and my mother don't get along well, as they both think they're better than everyone else and are never wrong. Since the day he turned 15, they've been at each other's throats. I'm wandering around the carnival with my children and their father when my phone starts going off over and over. When I answer, I hear my brother on the other line crying and begging to come stay with me. I tell him where I am and that the only way he can come stay with me is if it's all right with our mother, as she's pulled some outrageous stuff in the past. He goes on to tell me that she's been drinking and had busted the door to his room trying to get to him. I don't know how much of this to believe, as he's a bit dramatic and tends to embellish stories. I get a call while on the phone with him. It's my mother, and before I can answer, it goes to voicemail. So after I calm him a bit, I agree to hang up with him and call mother to see if I can calm the situation a little for both of them, and to get her side of the story. The truth is usually somewhere in between their two stories. I go ahead and hang up and check my voicemail. The voicemail is her yelling into the phone.
"Listen here, young lady, you better not even think about coming to get him. I'll call the police and say that you kidnapped him, or that you're aiding and abetting a runaway, and you will go to jail. Don't test me."
As I stand there a little shocked, I decided to call my mother and explain that I told him no, and that I would only come get him if she was completely okay with it. He may be my brother, but he isn't my child. The phone call goes something like this. I was blindingly angry through a lot of it, so the details are a little fuzzy. "Hey mama, sorry if he or I gave you the wrong idea. I told him I wouldn't come get him unless
I'm drinking? Or he wants to run away?"
No, I told him I wouldn't come get him unless you were okay with it.
"Oh, I'm sure that's what you said. Well, I won't have to worry about it because I already called the cops and told them about your plan to kidnap him."
Mom, I'm at a carnival with my children. Your grandchildren. I'm not coming to kidnap him. What the heck is wrong with you?
"You'll be arrested for this, and then you'll both learn who's in charge here."
At that point, I angrily hang up the phone. Since we're at a town-wide event, there are police officers out and about keeping the peace. So I go up to one of the officers that I know, since he was my science teacher in high school and is now a deputy, and ask him to please verify that I'm at the carnival in a public place and have no intentions of kidnapping anyone. He looks confused, so I tell him my side of the story. He chuckled and agreed to stay with me to verify my whereabouts and intentions. Turns out she did call the cops, but they came to her house. Since she technically had no reason to call them, she was disorderly, and she and my 15-year-old brother were drunk, she was arrested. She had the audacity to call me from the jailhouse and ask me to bail her out. I just said, "No, you might consider it a kidnapping. I can't take that chance, sorry." I hope you enjoyed this. It still angers me to this day if I think about it. My mother went to AA and is doing much better now, though. Hey, you know what? At least we ended on a high note. Mom was definitely out of control here. And I guess she realized that if she ended up going to AA and is now doing a lot better. Hopefully this has at least alleviated some of the issues and tensions that were going on in that house. But regarding the actual situation at hand, there's not much more I can say. It's pretty clear where she went wrong here throughout the story, considering she got arrested for it. You can't just call the cops and make stuff up. They really don't like it when you do that. Then not only did she get arrested, but had the gall to call our original poster to come bail her out. Surely you realize you're not exactly in our original poster's good books today, right? You can submit your own stories to be featured here on the channel. The story submission link is in the description below. And if you want to listen to some vibey music in the background, check out easymode, also linked below. And don't forget to subscribe. Entitled mother brings her underage disabled son into a bar because she doesn't want to wait 10 minutes for a seat. I, 19-year-old female, am a hostess in a large chain of Mexican restaurants. I've hosted before at another restaurant, so I know what I'm doing and how to generally handle customers who are being rude. I have my fair share of entitlement stories. It's a Sunday. It's lunchtime and there's an NFL game on the TV. And the TVs are only in the bar. We're on a wait of about 15 to 30 minutes. The lobby is full, and so is the atrium. We've been asking people to either wait outside or in their cars, taking phone numbers to call people back at. In walks entitled mother with her son. Son is probably no older than 16. The kid looks like he has mental issues. All goes well until I ask her for her phone number.
Well, why do you need that? It's private information.
Ma'am, it's very crowded in here. We need you to wait outside or in your car. The number is so I can call you when a table opens up.
I'm parked in a handicap spot. I need my husband to help me back out.
I nod, and before I get the number, she walks away to the bar. Her husband walks in and entitled mother flags him down, shoots me the smuggest look and says,
"Take us off the list, we're sitting at the bar."
Now, I live in a state where there are two places in a bar. The cocktail area, which is kid-friendly, and the actual bar, which is not kid-friendly. Entitled mother and her family are sitting in the bar, not the cocktail area. So my petty self gets the bartender. I tell her, "Hey, see that lady over there? She was incredibly rude and her son is definitely underage. Could you card him?" The bartender grins and says, "Oh yeah, absolutely she can do that." A few minutes later, the entitled mother shrieks,
"He's disabled! You have to let him sit here with us!"
The bartender calmly tells her that there's cocktail seating for family with kids.
"But there's no room!"
Then she'll have to go to the hostess and get on the list. Entitled mother stomps over.
"It's been 15 minutes. Give me a table."
I have the pleasure of smiling at her and saying in my most pleasant customer service voice, "I'm sorry, ma'am, but you asked to be removed. You're no longer on the list. It'll be 30 minutes. Can I get a name and phone number?" The look of rage on her face fueled me all day as she stomped out, husband and son in tow. Yeah, at the end of the day, disabled or not, he's not allowed to be there if he's of a certain age. That's just the way it is with bars. They're not going to lose their license over something like this. There's a designated family area for you to go to, and the hostess will get you there. You could have probably already been there if you had just played nice the first time. Now the line's gotten longer and you're going to have to wait even more. Or I guess not, since you left. But that was probably just doing everyone that worked there a favor anyway. New director refuses to listen to the best employee at the company and everything comes grinding to a halt. So this story's being stolen from my girlfriend. She works at a company that provides warehousing, product prep, and direct-to-consumer services to other companies. She works in their office dealing directly with several key accounts, but also has a few lines that she manages. The lines are responsible for prepping and building shipments. The line workers will gather in the morning and wait for their daily assignments as well as any direct-to-consumer orders from my girlfriend. This detail is important. The other office workers help manage some accounts but do not manage the lines or direct-to-consumer orders, nor do they know how to. She comes into work one day and finds out they have a new director, and he wants to start organizing and streamlining, etc. You know, the things the new important person does to make it look like he's giving it his all. His first order of business is to have a mandatory daily meeting at 8 a.m. with everyone in the office that will take no longer than 15 minutes. My girlfriend requests that the meeting starts at 9 a.m. instead, as the warehouse workers will be doing nothing but waiting around for their assignments otherwise. The director, probably not wanting to look like he's playing favorites on his first day, puts this up to a vote. And surprise, the other people want to start first thing in the morning, as they have nothing else to do at that time. So my girlfriend says, okay, if they want to start first thing in the morning, that's no problem. The next day, the meeting begins as soon as everyone arrives, and as they gather, the director begins talking. They hear the various lines start calling my girlfriend's name over the radio in the distance. 5 minutes go by, and now people begin wandering into the office. 10 minutes and a small group forms. 15 minutes and people are coming and going, patiently waiting for her, as she's ferociously tapping her pen on a clipboard. At this point, the director pipes up with a less than sincere, "Well, you look rather anxious, so you have some place to be. You can go if we're keeping you." She responds with a candid and rushed, "Thank you so much," and runs away to take care of her lines and process consumer orders. The new director, after this conversation, spoke with the owner of the company. To his credit, the director later that day sought out my girlfriend and recapped what she missed at this meeting, which ultimately ran for over 45 minutes. He also explained that the owner of the company informed him that she has the most responsibility of anyone in the office, generally can be relied on for anything, and is hands down his best employee. The meeting is now at 9 a.m. Yeah, another conversation we've had before about how the new big guy in charge wants to come in and make a bunch of changes to make it look like he knows what he's doing or gives a crap about how the company's going to perform. Sometimes it's just a flex of power or something like that as well, just to come in and show you that they're gonna tell you something has to be done a certain way and you're expected to do it that way. Our original poster's girlfriend played along, but it became apparent pretty quickly that she was needed to actually do stuff, and that was why she suggested the time change for the meeting. That's nice to put it up to a vote for everybody, but at the end of the day, some things do need to be taken care of at a certain time, and certain people need to be available to take care of those things. If it's conflicting with one of your key employees, it might be worth it to just wait that extra hour and do it then. Even if everyone else would rather it started at 8, they don't have anywhere else to be, unlike our original poster's girlfriend. Once the new guy was informed by the owner of the company just how important this person actually is, they came to realize that maybe you should just let them do what they need to do. To their credit though, at least they're not being a jerk about anything. They're just trying to do the best they can, and when provided with new information, are able to acknowledge that they're wrong and make a change. That's really all you can ask of them. New manager thinks that rewarding our hard work with even more work will increase our productivity. For 10 years, I worked night shift sorting mail at the post office. It was a secure job with decent pay and benefits. All the bulk mail for the area would come in and we would sort it into different rounds based on the address. Learning all the breakdowns took some effort, but once you had them memorized, the job was relatively simple. There was a set amount of letters you had to be able to sort per minute, and we were randomly tested on speed and accuracy. With a little experience, you could easily sort 3 or 4 times faster than what was required. The night shift ran 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., and the staff that delivered the mail started at 6:30 a.m. We originally had a great manager that was happy for us to leave work once we'd sorted all the mail. This was a great incentive for all the night shift to work as fast as we could, because if we did, most days we got to leave an hour early, if not more, all for the same money. Productivity was spectacular. Our manager got a promotion to another office, and the new manager saw things differently. When he realized that we were all leaving early each day, he passed a mandate stating that we must stay at work until the end of shift and assist the delivery staff. We tried explaining the benefits of the traditional system, but they wouldn't be swayed. Now the only reward for hard work was more work. So from then on, we worked only at the official speed. All the mail was weighed, so management could calculate how long it should take to process. We were always still well above the required rate, just not at the stellar speed we had previously achieved. Not only did the work last until the end of the shift, we even started getting overtime, which never happened previously. Management could do nothing except hire more staff to meet the demand and attempt to cut down overtime. The new manager was shifted to another branch, and someone was promoted in-house. Fortunately, they were well aware of the situation and let us go back to the original agreement. Now, with extra staff, we left even earlier, and everyone was thrilled, both staff and management. Now, that's what you call a happy ending. You guys had something nice going on in the beginning. All of a sudden, we have a villain come in who screws everything up. And at the end, we defeat the villain and everyone comes out happier and for the better. A classic tale. In all seriousness though, when you take away people's incentive to work hard, they're not gonna work hard. They're not gonna give you their all because there's nothing in it for them to do so. You're just gonna give them more to do. Thus, they're just gonna meet the bare minimum requirements and run out the clock. Or in this case, end up actually claiming overtime. But it seems like upper management realized pretty quickly where the problem was coming from and rectified the situation. Now your job's even easier, you can leave even earlier, and still getting paid the same amount of money. Can't really have asked for that to have gone much better. I chose to make an unfortunate joke when my friend told me her dinner table was full with family. Over the last 20 years, everyone in my close family has died. Both my parents are gone, my grandparents on both sides, all my dad's uncles, and anyone who's still alive are scattered out among the country. All I, 20-year-old female, have left is my siblings and my brother-in-law. My friend, 23-year-old female, comes from a different family. All the uncles, aunts, cousins, grandparents have monthly parties, stay in touch, have big celebrations, the works. All of them are still alive and active. I think she knows I'm sensitive to the topic, as I wish I had a big family. Since she sometimes makes comments like, you know, when you get married, your guest list will be so small compared to mine, but hey, at least it'll be cheap. At my mom's funeral, there were still a lot of open chairs, and she told me if this was a family member of hers, all the seats would be full. She's aware of my many deceased family members. I took some pictures of me, my siblings, and my brother-in-law cooking for Thanksgiving and us playing games at the dinner table, and posted them on social media. She texted me privately saying we looked like we were having fun, followed by pics of her huge family, and remarked the dinner table was full of family. This is where I may have been the jerk. I replied, lovely, have fun. We'd have a full table too, but with the snow it was too hard to dig everyone out of their graves. She was silent for a few hours, then replied that joke was morbid and made her uncomfortable, and I really needed to check my attitude. Am I the jerk? No, I think she needed a little shock treatment there to realize exactly how much she was pushing your buttons with this. She knows that it's a sensitive topic with you, and is trying to one-up you and rub it in your nose every chance she can get. She's the one that needs to check her attitude. That's great that you have a big family and everything, and that's great that you guys spend all this time together. But why do you feel the need to rub that happiness in someone else's face? Why does your happiness need to make someone else miserable for you to truly enjoy it? That's what's really sick. My coworker announced my pregnancy during lunch break, so I threatened to report him to HR. I, female 33, have been working in this company for 4 years. I have a great relationship with my coworkers, and one of them is Austin. Austin is incredibly sociable and easy to adapt with new coworkers. We talk about all kinds of stuff while, of course, keeping it professional. I'm married and recently found out I was pregnant, but only my husband knew about it. I haven't even told anyone in our families or friend circle. The other day at work, me and the coworkers were on lunch break and Austin was with us. We were talking when suddenly he got up from his chair and asked for everyone's attention for a moment. I didn't know what that was about till he loudly announced that I was pregnant. I was stunned, like mouth open, eyes not moving, just staring at him, as he and the others rushed to congratulate me and flood me with well wishes and parenting jokes and advice. I was in utter shock, and I asked how he knew, and he said, "Remember when you gave me a ride the other day? I saw your pregnancy test result on the dashboard." My first reaction was lashing out at him in front of everyone, asking why the heck he just shared private medical information at my workplace. He said he was just sharing our joy with everyone else, since only him and I knew. Other coworkers asked that I calm down, but I meanly told him that he was out of line and that I would be reporting him to my superior for this, then stormed off while Austin just stood there. My female coworkers came to tell me how rude I was towards Austin's nice gesture and insisted I hurt him and that I overreacted, especially for saying that I'll report him, since he was just sharing happy news with everyone and I was just being too sensitive. But I felt my privacy was violated. Plus, I wanted to tell everyone on my own terms. Still, my coworkers tried to talk me out of it. Not just that, but apologized to him for lashing out like that. Am I the jerk for my reaction? No, this is just a massive invasion of privacy. If that's something that he just so happened to notice when he was in your car, then that's unfortunate, but he keeps that information to himself. Or at least has a conversation with you about it first. You don't just stand up in front of everyone's coworkers and announce that they're pregnant. That is by no means information that you have the right to share. That comes down to whenever she wants everyone to know. No, Austin 100% screwed up here. And I'm really surprised your coworkers are choosing to back him up. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications. Put the playlist on in the background to finish listening to all the stories. Or if you want to listen to some 5B music in the background, check out easymode. If you like Am I the Jerk, give Am I the Genius a shot. Everything linked in the description.